everyone. Welcome to another awesome day of FileMaker training. I'm Richard Carlton, creator of FMTrain.tv, where every day we are doing awesome, fun FileMaker things. I don't know what else to call it. So I want to talk about the upcoming broadcast schedule real quick. Today is a little bit kind of open-ended as to what we're doing. I have some thoughts on this tomorrow. I've already talked to a couple of you on the phone, and I'm combining some requests from Ed along with some requests from Angie. And you both have similar issues. So tomorrow's topic is going to be on if someone is working in FileMaker and they disconnect, how to bring them back to where they were. And there's probably 5 or 10 different ways of doing it. We're going to pick probably the simplest way to do it. The mechanics of scripting, once again, and I'm going to go back to this, I'm going to hammer on this because I keep reiterating this over and over and over again. That's why I reiterate the mechanics of scripting and anchor buoy. There are very specific rules on how you follow. If you follow the rules, you'll be successful or largely successful. And if you get stuck on something, it'll be easy for someone to help you with that. I think people see a big project in FileMaker, they get anxiety about it, and they're like, oh my God. And that's the issue of eating an elephant. Once again, I don't eat elephants, right? Elephants are big and wonderful. But if you had to eat an elephant, how would you do it? One bite at a time. You only worry about the one bite. And you have the one bite, like monkey spread, put some monkey spread on the elephant, right? Make it taste better. One bite at a time, one bite. Don't worry about the other 999 bites that you're gonna have to take. Just eat the one bite. Done, next bite. And you have to have that mindset. It's like being on a diet. Can you be on a diet for today? Yes. But if you say, can you be on a diet? And you're gonna have to be on the diet for the next year and a half. Oh, a year and a half of self-control. I can't do it, right? Where if you talk to yourself in your conversation, your self-identity, whatever you want to call this, I feel like a psychologist right now. If you say, can I do it today? Can I eat the one bite of elephant today? Can I not eat sugar and food for today? Great. Just get through today. Tomorrow's a new day. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. We're just going to get through today. That's how you build things in FileMaker. Okay, very, very important. So there was a question that came up about this idea of attaching images to line items or documents to line items. So first, what I want to do is remind everyone that we have code that allows us to tell, obviously we've been able to script a local client to create a PDF for you. Once again, local client being Go or Pro. Create a PDF, save it in a container. That's something that's built into Starting Point. About 2 weeks ago, we got Calvin come on and he helped us with a script. This will be in the X2 version of Starting Point. The next build, I got to move these scripts over and just verify them and come up with a way, but I want to put it in there because it's something I would need. And what this does is there's a script stuff. The second part is it fires the server, tells the server to make a PDF of this document here and then save it in here. So the idea of basically with document management, most of the time when I see document management, it's either PDFs or we create in FileMaker, we want to save them in containers, one thing. The other thing is like Ed Burkle doing inspections, fire safety inspections, right? Like you walk into a place and there's M80s and fireworks and all this explosive right next to the kitchen stove. And it goes, yeah, not so good, right? And he starts writing them up. Thou shalt not put high explosives next to the flaming kitchen stove, okay? Like that happens. Ed could tell you about it, I guarantee. So the question is that Ed takes pictures of said fireworks with a quick take camera, for those of you who know what that is, or their iPhone, and they want to attach them. So Margaret's had some shows where we talked about attaching things like that. So the question becomes is mechanically, how do we deal with that? How do we structure that? And Margaret, if you have with questions along the way, I want this to be interactive. So this conversation will take a course. We'll change course today if you ask me questions and you have questions. And if you have a question, other people have the question too. So please ask the question because that'll help educate me. Tomorrow I've got a pretty good idea what I want to do. Today's a little bit more open-ended. David Angel is aggressively typing. As soon as he has that, we'll jump into that. Margaret, who's on, before we bail out on everything, we got Rick Fosnot, Butterflies and Bugs. Welcome, Butterflies and Bugs. I need you to ask questions. Super important. You're more of the beginner, intermediate person, I think. And there are people who use FileMaker for 20 or 30 years, but they're still kind of beginner, intermediate, right? Because it's not a full-time career and it's good enough for what they want and it's fine. So if anyone feels like I'm talking down to them, please don't feel that way. It's not my intent. If I could raise everyone's skill set like plus 10 skill points to everyone today and move you all up, I would do that. Yeah, that's a younger generation reference, World of Warcraft or something. We got plus 10 agility, so we could jump around FileMaker files, right? So, all right, so let's talk about this real quick. So if I go, I'm going to leave this alone. I go here, I go here, I go to the home screen. This is starting point. I go to invoice, right? Or if I go to projects, some projects, are there to-do items? These are projects. This is the project information. Is there a line items in here? I don't really see a line items in projects. Are there associated?
What about one in invoices?
There are. I'm just thinking out loud, like in projects. I think projects is kind of a minimal kind of existence thing here. Let me go to invoices. Clearly, there's line items here.
Would there be one in products?
No. I mean, what would the line? See, in projects, you ask yourself, what are the subcomponents of a project? They're like in specific tasks or
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
probably should be in here somewhere, but I don't see where they would be. So I would have to go back, and I guess it's not been in here for a while. These are all the other projects, so I can jump from various projects, right? Level, phase, rest, need those feed. This is all auto data entry because
I'm wondering if something got deleted from that. So that's a really empty square there. Did we like delete something in here a while back, and that's why?
we need to go back to a different version of starting point. Can I make a note and we'll check to see what's going on with that. So, because that's a container is what that is in there. So, yeah, something's not right quite with this, and I'm not entirely sure why that is. But if I go to invoices over here, the question is, could you have images are associated with it? Like if we were doing an inspection for Ed Burkle, so so this is the project, like his inspection is a project, and he had individual, you could say they were discrepancies, shall we say, with the inspection, like the M80 fire box of M80 explosives next to the flaming stove. Right, so that would be a discrepancy, right? It would be an issue that would go on that would need to be remediated, right? And so those are you could have a or a note. You could have line items. A note is like a FYI, like a kind of you should be aware of this, be alert that maybe M80s are approved next to stoves, and just be aware that maybe you should be thoughtful about that, as opposed to something that's a violation, like a legitimate issue or violation. You could have a line items with a status in it. So you could have a status in here saying, pop up, this is a violation. This next one down here is going to be an alert, right? Like when we have aviation, we have aviation alerts for an aircraft. It's a FYI on maintenance, like, hey, just look for this screw. It might be a little loose. To oh, you need to deal with this, all the way to the federal government coming in going, holy shit, the doors are blowing off the side of 737s, and it becomes what they call an airworthiness directive, which is a major alert. And then if it's an emergency airworthiness directive, when you land or land immediately, some of them are that bad, like land right now, okay, then there's different levels of statuses you could have in here, right? That makes sense. So where is my mechanical coding? So let's talk about the mechanical coding. I need you folks to help me with an objective here. So if I go to mechanical coding, I'm gonna run through this as a reminder. I'll do it tomorrow as well. So how do you eat an elephant? What bite at a time? Here's the process. If you're a brand new or fairly new FileMaker person, sometimes I have to remind myself of this because I see someone lays this thing out to me and I go, oh my God, it's such a big project. You're going to pretend a coworker is calling you on the phone. A phone and only a phone, no visual, only audio. It's an important part of the conversation. They're asking you how to do the thing that you've been asked to do. If you can verbally walk them through the conversation over the phone, go to this layout. That's one reason why we number layouts and we number scripts, so we can specifically identify things. Go to layout, whatever. It should say at the top up here, L800. Now it says something else. We'll go to L800. And then if they could jump over here, do something like that. Oh, there's 801, 802. Oh, I wanted to be on 801. Okay, got it. So I'm on the right layout now. Go to L801. Click on this field. Got it. Okay, click on it. Right click, say sort records. Ah, okay, we're going to sort. And then we're going to clear that. We're going to say sort, okay? And then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that, and then we're going to do this. Can you walk them through the discrete individual steps to get them to the end? If you can write a script, because writing the script is almost identical to walking someone through it on the phone. Does that make sense? It's such a fundamental because the scripts are plain English scripts for the most part. Go to this layout, go to this record, perform a find, delete the record, heaven forbid, right? That's dangerous. Just because I'm not telling you should, I'm just saying you can, right? Okay.
What
So
I want you to do is we did this once before, but I don't really know how much I actually internalized it in retrospect because it
okay.
was such a complicated topic. But
Okay.
I want you to have a pop-up card window that shows you a list of inspection photos to attach to an inspection. Like you took all of the photos, you uploaded all the photos. They all exist in the Documents tab, and now you got to attach them to.
Okay, so let's talk about this from the mechanical standpoint. We'll go through this as fast as we can. There should be is it in starting point light. First, you have to see, okay, so I'm gonna get that other way. I'm gonna close that. If I go to starting point light, is there a documents table? So I go to tables, is there documents?
Think so?
Is. So how the hell do I get to it from over here?
Does it not exist in Light? Can you not access the little
That's my
lighty thing in
question,
Light?
right? So this is one of those sort of things. So once again, okay, hit okay. Tasks, assets, there should be a this is normally a slide control that you can jump over to another group of items here. I'm going to show the status toolbar at the top. I'm going to go down to documents. Yeah, there's no nav to documents directly from down here. I find that quite interesting. So, Margaret, can you please write this on a list of things for starting
Yes.
light? So I'm in 0 record. So I'm going to add a new record, hit Command and Control in, new record. If I add another new record, so this is what we call a detail, list detail. This is the list. And if you click on it, you get the detail over here. If I go to broadcast files, I'm going to come up with a screenshot of probably Claris or something. So I'm going to drag and drop. No, where's the container at? Here's the container. I can drag and drop there. Okay. And then I think this is Labo over here. So we have this one. Drop that. Labo 404 is here. His dog is missing, which is great. We keep some of this artwork for future reference. This is an MP4 movie, which would be interesting. Let's add that. It probably won't do anything. Oh, there it is. It's actually in there. Oh, and see, it brought the player up. So I'm thinking this is set. Remember, we always talk about containers, and you want to set them for performance to not be
Interactive,
right? And that's kind of the rub with this. So if I come down here, yeah, it's set for interactive. So I think on this layout, having it as interactive is okay. Like, and there we got the monkeys. That's FM starting point. And that's FileMaker developers hitting starting point. So yeah, but if you were on a list view, you wouldn't want the interactive. See, the container's not even on here. See, which is like kind of like dumb. And it gets back, so the conversation would rapidly run off to the container thing, but you'd put a container on here. You could make it a little bit fatter, I would. So this is something else. Margaret, everything here, we need to kind of deal with this, okay? So document name, document account. We could put the document type. I don't know, the contact name. Some of this stuff needs to be smaller. Project account name, whatever. Move that over there. Move that over there. Put this over here. So this stuff needs to be done. You're going to have to probably help with this. I'm going to hit the option key on my keyboard, drag this over here. I'm going to find the document container. I'm going to get rid of that, get rid of that. I'm going to make it kind of square-ish and stick it here. So we want kind of a thumbnail of what the stuff is. So if I go to, I'm going to center these up in here in this line. So this body part, remember we learned about subsummaries the other day. These only turn on when what happens?
When the sort occurs.
And this has to be sorted by that one, this by this one. So these are 5 different subsummaries that will only show up if its relative field is sorted by that. Otherwise, they are what? Invisible, right? Browse by. So here we go. 404, Claris, a blank record, and then we got monkeys. This is the high performance non-video player, non-interactive thing here, right? So the question is that what you want? Well, if you turn interactive on, you have a list view of these things, your FileMaker is going to go really slow because it tries to start streaming the video to you. And if you have 10 records on the screen, it's going to try to start streaming individually. So that's, in a list view, it's dangerous. In a detail view, like right here, I'm on this one and I go back to detail. So, oh yeah, over here, It's a non-interactive, so it won't play over here. So this gets back to this idea, and this is almost a monkey bread issue where I programmed monkey bread to do this, where it would open up the video, then I told monkey bread to take a screenshot and stick it into like a screenshot of the movie. Because when you say, if this is an interactive movie, right? And this over here is not interactive, but that icon really sucks.
Yeah, that doesn't really tell you anything about it.
Monkey bread would grab you'd end up with something like a screenshot of the monkey or something over there, right? Like that. And then you'd have the little monkey, and it would be in there. So you would see it. So you kind of had a clue, like you recognize the box and bread and monkey, you know what the hell this is. And so choosing the right FileMaker technology in the right situation will help keep the performance fast. So once again, back to this idea of, it's kind of a big lift, Margaret, but if I go to home over here, I pop a new window. So we have documents in here, right? And what you want to do is if you're in like a project, you could have the tasks. So let's just say that if I go to layout mode, I'm going to get rid of this container. I don't know why there's no tasks over here. If I go to, we're on T16. So remember anchor buoy, and this is for butterflies and bugs. So here we're in starting point, butterflies and bugs. What's the rule in anchor buoy? Forget starting point. We start with the anchor and we add things relationally only if we need them. So what do we need over here? I need a list of tasks. I can't pronounce that word very well, tasks. Too many two little syllables in there. If I go to manage database over here, I want to confirm the task there, right there, okay? So I'm going to hit cancel, and I'm going to say, well, I want a portal over here of tasks. So now this will only work if the tasks are connected to T16. So T16, do I see anything over here that says tasks?
No.
There is T16 Sierra.
Wait, there's two task list. Why is there two?
One by ID project and one by status. It would show you probably all the ones that were active, tasks that are active, if you wanted to, right? So you could have, but we just want all the ones that are on this project. Keep it simple, right? So there's that. So I'm not going to bother with sort, filter, any of that kind of stuff. 19 rows to say that there's 8 rows. And I'm going to move over the tasks. I don't know what the important fields are. You probably have the ID.
Date created, date due? I assume date due would be important, right?
Date due.
Is there like a description? There's a description.
But there was also a notes one in here too. So notes. Yeah. Okay. So, and then I'm going to do, just for and giggles, I'm going to do ID task. So this would be the primary key for that task. So I say, okay, so here we got this, and then it's still on the layout kind of over here. And then there's an image of a bug and something else. So I'm just going to leave those down there. This is kind of a demo file we're playing with over here. I can't click in here. So if I click on a portal and nothing happens, what is the problem, David Angel? Oh, he asked a question a minute ago, Margaret. You want to go back to that question real quick?
He's saying new record, but I don't know. How do you... It won't automatically create it. Do you have to like click the check mark in it?
No, you have to enable it in the relationship.
Relationships. Oh, okay. So it's not on the portal.
So we got T16 over here. So we would decide that we need a portal over here, butterflies and bugs, and say it wasn't over here, then we would just add another one. We're in projects, we would add the tasks down here, but the tasks are already here. That's this one right here. I could move it out of the way so I can see it. There's no problem with this. It doesn't break anything. I can double click it right here. It says allow created related records. Okay. Makes sense?
Yes. Oh, and don't click the delete.
Generally, we don't do the cascading. That's what we just turned on. It's what I call cascading add. So I can click in here. And now it hasn't created the related record yet. But if I go new window and then I go home, is there a task button over here? There's no task button. Margaret, something is broken.
So there's tasks right there.
There's tasks right here. Okay, hang on. Okay, but this is like a interface. That's an interface for like so it's on the side or something.
Oh.
So let me move this down to the bottom.
Okay. If you add a task, will that show up in the projects? Sorry.
Yeah, I need the maintenance layout is what I remember. We always talk about maintenance layout. So I need a maintenance layout for tasks.
There should be one. Oh, top 1502.
Okay, so these are tasks. It hasn't added one yet, but if we keep an eye down here and I start typing in here, oh, that's a date though. I could put today's date. I think that's date. I click at one. As soon as I click, it's going to probably force a new record down here. 1, 2, 3. Ah.
There it is.
So then what we have is these are fields here. We can tell it to, we really need the labels on here. It didn't add the labels on here. That's fine. But the idea is that this is so butterflies and bugs, people get excited about starting point. All you know is that you need tasks on here. You're on T16, so somewhere attached to T16 is the table occurrence you need. If it's already there, use the one that's there. If it's not there, then add it, okay? And then we would have, if I double click this, we'd have a label, and then we'd put the label up here. It looks like X. There's this one, there's this one, there's this one. And so you have to kind of work on this description, create the label, and put them up here, blah, 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 blah. So you get this idea, okay? So the issue is that this is in here. These are like this. I'm going to get rid of, if I go to style, I'm going to tell it line around the edges is all on. The title is up there. If I go to browse mode again, so then that's that, then that's a record. Then there's an alternating color state, so white, gray, and if I click on one active, I click out, nothing really happens. Okay, I may add another one here, another date. Stuff, I say butterflies, okay, click that. So when I click on it, it doesn't have a state. Remember how we set states, layout mode. Click on the table, the portal here, then on layout mode, right pane, this panel right here. So this is the panel, appearance panel. You're going to come down here and say it's in the portal row. So we want to talk about styling the portal row, the primary one, the alternative one, the active one. So that if the active one is
Orange.
Well, okay, yeah, because you love orange so much. Okay, there it is. So I go browse mode. Is it there? Ah, so I click on it. So now you know where you're at, right? It's active, okay? Makes sense? So that's that. Now the question is, how do you attach, and the problem is that your request market is really open-ended. So you want to reframe. We have any questions over here from anyone? Had a sort stats.
We was asking on the sort thing, there was like a sort stats merge field on top of
where? It's not, if you have a merge field.
Where was like the pile of sub-summaries? Like what?
That was the, okay, I'll pop a new window. That was documents, right? It was the
Yeah, it was. Okay.
Documents. And what that is, if you have a merge field that's not functional, then you've got a...
Yeah, there it is. Non-functional is.
So can you make a note about that, Margaret? Okay. So we need to check all the list views to make sure that that is showing your sort state. I don't understand what sort state, is that a field over here? I guess it is. I should go into
I guess it's telling you what it's being sorted by currently.
Sort state, sort. There's no sort state field in here.
Did it get deleted? Which is why there's an unhappy merge field.
That's what happened. It's been removed. And so, so a merge field then is no longer a merge field, it's just text. You could try to make it a is there a get function for source state, folks? List layouts for documents.
That's a good question. I mean, I could pull it up.
So what I would do is I would copy this, cut it, get rid of it, make that a single. See that, like that one right there is working, right? That's that's a found count, right? So that is found count. Is that a, okay, so let me see. If I go insert, is sort state over here something we can do?
There is a get sort state.
Ew.
It's a get function.
So we could do a super duper McFlurry fly thing over here. So what we need to do is we double click, we select all that, get rid of that. We say insert layout calculation, and we're going to say get sort state. Okay. I have no idea what's going to happen right here. Okay. Browse. 0. Okay. Okay. Back up. Huh. What are the possible values that come out of get sort state, Margaret? As I look
0
up,
0 if the records in the active table are not sorted, 1 if the records in the active table are sorted, and then 2 if the records in the active table are partially sorted, aka semi-sorted.
Okay, so we're going to redo this merge field over here. We're going to replace it. I'm going to say if get, we could do, let me do a case statement, okay, everyone? So the test one, what test one is if, it's basically an if, get, sort, would you say sort state, if it equals, what, 0? What is it?
Yeah, not sorted.
Okay, then we would say right here, not sorted. Okay, we're going to want to recycle this. Then what I do is I put a return right here. So the next, it's test result, test result, test result. So the test is, so I'm going to copy this one. Actually, I'm going to
You can just copy the whole thing and then just change it.
And then change those, that right there. So if it's 1, it's, what is it, sorted?
Yeah.
That's kind of dumb.
Yeah, it's not very illuminating as to what it's being
Can you
sorted.
tell what it's sorted by? Is that?
I mean, I'm
probably with monkey bread you could, but okay, so.
I mean, I could pull that up too.
0, 1, what's 2? Is there, you said there's a 2?
Semi-sorted, the cursed state.
Okay, what is semi-sorted? Someone, for the double bonus point and my undying love, would someone try to guess what semi-sorted is? Oh, if David says there's an insert symbol from sort state. All right, so I'm going to do semi-sorted. And then if it doesn't do any of those, it's going to be empty. That's a 2. Okay, so I'm going to say, okay. I'm going to leave that up there. Then I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do what David says is say insert. What do you say? You said insert. Go to insert symbols. Insert. What am I doing? Oh, insert. Date symbol. Other symbols. Look at all these.
Oh yeah, Calvin showed me this the other day. I didn't even know this existed.
Sort state. So this is probably going to say the same.
I assume you're going to get a number. I'm pretty sure. Maybe. I'm confused. Is that a get function?
Isn't that the same that was just on here that we got rid of?
Yeah, I don't know. Hit browse mode. I want to see what happens. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Layout mode. Okay. I have the little chevron thingies there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do undo and then I'm going to do redo. So I'm going to do undo backwards. Undo. So that was the previous sort state we had before, right?
Yes, and like.
But if I do it, it's chevrons, right? So if I say redo.
No, that's different. No,
just wait. It is different because it's these brackets. It's not chevrons.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's on us or them. So ours is better because it actually says something intelligent as opposed to being dumb. But that's a good one. Let's cover this real quick. So view or insert, and you take a look at the other symbols here. So you can insert, once again, you could do an on layout calculation, then you could access any of these as a reference. And so you could put something useful in the system without having a calculation field. And this is all the supply of, well, these go directly on the layout, right? But you could mix these things together, right? So yeah, you could say the person's username, the person's all sorts of stuff. Nice. Yeah, isn't that kind of neat? Now normally what we do is we do page number, right? Date at the bottom of the page number. I always like to do page 1 of whatever, right? 2 of 10 or whatever. And that would be the page count, the page number / page count, right? It says those little things that I haven't seen this dialogue probably in 6, 7 years. Long time.
I assume these are just all the get functions?
They're all the get functions. So you can just spew it up here.
No, I just saw I saw like a get function called quick find text, which I wasn't aware that was a get function.
Get quick find text. Yeah, but that's if it's getting the results of what you search for up in the little box.
Oh, yeah, okay, which I've never used in my life. So.
Yeah, Nick does the quick finds. The problem is that you have to be very careful with them because they tend to be performance. If you let FileMaker do its native behavior of quick finds, it searches for everything, including unindexed fields, which makes the search very slow. So anyway, yeah, so there's all sorts of neat stuff in there. Yes.
So Wait, do you have a place that you want to go, or do you want me to like rephrase what I was requesting earlier?
Yeah, we should probably rephrase it. So we were, that needs to be fixed with that. There's
If
like,
I have a project that has 4 documents attached to it, I want to be able to pick which document goes to which task.
you could, okay, that's way bigger than what we can do in
Okay, sorry.
that's a 3 hour assignment,
Sorry.
Margaret. Why stop, Margaret? Think about it.
Yeah.
I'm not picking on you, but well, if I have a library of photos, I can pick one to go somewhere. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about, fine. So in my head, I just worked this out, but let's talk about this objectively. So let's practice this. This is great. Fine. Margaret, let's pretend that I have not passed judgment upon you so publicly in a negative way. And let's just try your idea here. So let's just talk about this from a new standpoint. So this is I'm going to put a carriage return here. So let's just talk about this. So write the overall mission objective. So you have photos collected in a documents area. You want to bring up the unattached, unmarried photos, and then manually attach them to a record. Doesn't even matter what the record is or where. Okay. So to do this, what is step one if I was going to tell Fred to do it? Step one, Fred. Go to, I would just say the maintenance layout for documents. Okay, that's one. Perform find for or perform find for is empty on related attached record. So there'll be a foreign key where it attaches, it'll be blank. Yes?
Yes.
All I'm saying is that you have photos and documents that are not attached. Well, how do I find this? Fine. Then but it doesn't mean to
No, okay, I get what
it
you're
doesn't mean anything to anyone else in this conversation. It's way too specific for your use case. My job, which is why my job is so hard, is to take everyone's really specific use cases and to make them generic. So what you have to do is you have to find the unattached items, whatever that means in your situation, right? A document, if we have a document over here, and I go to documents over here, okay, and I go to probably maintenance documents, there should be that list view here sucks, and that's another issue. I don't see a maintenance documents in here, so I'm going to have to go to layout mode, create a new layout. I'm going to say computer screen. I'm going to call it documents. I'm going to call maint. I'll call it L XXX because that'll be awesome. And then maintenance documents, just so we have something, okay? It'll be a table view, for lack of a better idea, finish. And it'll say, yes, whatever. And then we're gonna say, for everything now, then we have all these sort states over here, or these sorts over here. None of that needs to be there. I'm gonna say okay here. So now we have a maintenance layout here, okay? So what you have to do is that if I go back to layout mode here, oh, it's not showing it there. I love that's why I hate table view, because it's showing you stuff that's not actually on the layout. It's so obnoxious. So what I want to do is I want to search for ID, all the ID fields. So there's EFG. Ah, damn it. This layout sucks. Okay, so fields. Take all the fields, move them over here, okay? Okay, great. Move them down. And then I got to get rid of the fields that should never be on this. Global fields should not be on this maintenance list view. The IDs need to be there. The sorts don't need to be there on maintenance unless you have a problem with them. Summary and time. So now we get this, we move this up. I get them off the, see, it's got all these, when you're doing a spreadsheet view, we don't call them spreadsheet views, they're called whatever the hell they're called, table view, right? We don't care about all the other all the headers and the footers and all this other, just get rid of this stuff. That's all you need. Body, these are the fields. When I go to browse mode, it's going to grab those and stick them up here, right? I'm pretty sure. So where we have, no, it put them, did I not get rid of the G's?
Well, you're still in a table view. So what if happens if you switch?
I don't know what it's not taking the data off of this. So this is very frustrating. This is a feature, and I don't know how to, it's absolutely non-intuitive, and I wasn't clearly asked about it. I'll say to get it to work the way I want it to, I'm going to say it's a computer view. I'm going to say LXXX B, the second attempt, maintenance, doc, there's documents, right? List view, finish, okay? Get rid of that, make the body big, drag all these fields over here. We're current, bang up. We're current in invoices. I need to be in documents here. And it's attached to invoices. Okay, I screwed that up. Layout, setup, when it does something really unsavory, it makes me very unhappy. Isn't it like 6 is documents or something? There's
PO6, yep, there you go.
But now we set it to that. Now we get this. Now I'm going to grab all these over here and bring them over here, okay? And then you go to browse mode and you're like, well, you see all this stuff. Yeah, but then view it as a table view, or this view. It's not enabled, so it didn't turn on by default. Views, you go to views, you enable the views. See that?
Yes.
Or whatever, there's views, okay? So that once again, under layouts, there's 2 things in layouts you mess with. We talked about this the other day, how they really should be one, layout setup, and then part setup should be a tab into that. These 2 should be together, okay? So back to browse mode, okay? Table view. Are you sure you want to save it? There we go. So now if we go to layout mode and make changes to this stuff, it will reflect up there at the top, because it wasn't born as a table view. It was born as a list view. I'm going to come down here to display, sum, display, type. I'm going to get rid of those. I'm going to get rid of, there's the IDs. Okay, there's a sort there. Display date, that's some other display information. Sort key, yeah, these sort stuff. These are all like how they cook up the list views to sort, right? Related record, first name, last name, and then these G filters here, which, whatever, fine. I'm going to get rid of all those. Okay, great. So is that mostly everything? Okay, great. So back to browse mode. So now we start to get a reasonable thing. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the IDs and move them to the left. So there's ID account, ID document. Okay, back to where I was trying to have this conversation, which is if this document is attached to a project, it would have a project ID here, but it doesn't. So our instructions are to, we'll try this again, come back over here. We're going to go to this layout over here, find empty on the related records. So you would do a find. How do you find for empty? You put an equal sign right there, you hit return. So now we have the empty records, happens to be all of them. Okay, now what do you do? Margaret, what would we want to do?
Copy the project ID and put it into the
But you haven't selected any thought. Yeah, you're going to, yeah, so, but then you go back and you go, well, I forgot a step because okay, so ask your co-worker, are you on the project's data entry layout? Okay. Layout. If not, go there. Okay. Then the next step before that would have been then copy the ID project, copy paste, right? So really that's step 1. Then we're down to 2. And then we got, 3 and 4 and 5 and everything else here. So we copy the ID, you do that, then co-5. Wow, what a pile of shit. Co-worker selects image to attach to project. They make a decision. Let's not say the word select. The coworker mentally decides, okay, to a specific image to attach to project. So they mentally see one and they're going to do that, okay? Okay. 6, co-worker goes to record paste into the ID projects underscore foreign. That's an option F for those of you, foreign key. So we attach the image. So they're over here. They had copied the project ID, which was that right there. I think it's a 01. They came over here, they clicked in here, and they pasted it. Okay. Now what do we want them to do, Margaret? You tell me.
I would go back to the project layout because I think once you paste the ID, it should be attached, shouldn't it?
Okay, but go back there, probably the thing you want to do. How do we go back there? Go back there is not.
Yeah, no, I would have opened the maintenance layout on a new window
Okay,
because
so
in retrospect.
close window. So then go to maintenance records. Let's say pop into a new window, which is a absolutely correct thing to do. Absolutely. So then to go back, there's no go back command. You're just going to close the window and it goes to where they were and they just were at the projects. Okay, close window. Now what? You might have to do a refresh or something so you see that. You want to somehow, well, commit the record or do something so the screen refreshes.
So is there like a refresh screen command or would you refresh the portal object?
Yeah, this is the deal where you tell them, don't see the image, question mark, commit record or save it, and they save it by clicking into space around it, record, and if that doesn't work, then maybe nav forward a record and then back a record, which will probably cause a refresh manually. Now, with us, we would run a refresh script step. The refresh window script step, we would run that command. Okay.
Got it.
But that's how you're like, well, just go somewhere else and come back. And then FileMaker goes, oh, change, and it shows you the new stuff. So that's how, if the image that you identified over here didn't show up, right? So I just selected that one. If I go over here and I want to show another portal, which I really can't super see, I come over here, I guess. Oh, see, there's tasks in here and stuff. See that? Invoices, estimates. Why is this over here? And
I'm pretty sure we moved it off to the side because this has been a database we've been doing stuff with for a bit. So I think it naturally
maybe
exists.
it would be there. Okay, we need to check on. Maybe
I'm pretty sure it would be there. This is just a file that's been messed with.
okay, that would be then this. I've over demoed this file and now I'm kind of I can't tell what I've done versus what is actually broke. So
we need to like rip it off and make
we
it
have questions from anyone? Can click the modify button in the table of view, the change of fields. Click modify button in the table view.
That's a thing.
So I come back over here. I go to browse mode, modify table button. Where? Oh, right there. Modify. So then you have this big long list.
You have to manually uncheck it. Interesting.
See, this is So once again, it's a totally different design paradigm than dropping into layout and munging it manually. So this is so once again, despite Margaret having this big idea in her head, my goal was to pin her down on elephant bites of elephant with monkey spread on the top. So copy that, and once you get copy paste, you would use a variable probably, but if you're a brand new FileMaker developer, by all means, feel free to use copy and paste. And people say, you can't teach them that.
It's easier to read when you go back and you check your stuff.
I don't know if you ever saw the Grey Poupon
conceptually.
Drive up, have your little pinky in the air because I'm better than everyone else. Excuse me, sir, might you have some Grey Poupon? Dijon mustard? And it's like two rich guys in Bentleys handing mustard from one car to the other car. It's only for sophisticated, brilliant people. Okay, yeah. I really hate it when FileMaker developers or teachers train with that attitude. Right? I mean, I give everyone the chunks of elephant they can eat. If you can have a bigger chunk of elephant, or you want spicy barbecue elephant with extra stuff, we will do that. Okay, but copy paste is the rudimentary basics. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think about it. Variables is conceptually one of the hardest things for my brain to grasp about
Yeah,
FileMaker.
and maybe I'll bring back the shoebox tomorrow for that. So tomorrow's conversation is about when someone is in the middle of a process. It's basically like the idea of a transaction, except that they disconnect and go away. And so the idea of a transaction that none of it's saved unless it's completely done. And so what people are doing, and this is the use case for tomorrow, so everyone understands what's coming tomorrow, is that they're on an estimate or invoice, and they're filling it out, and they're halfway done filling it out, and then they disconnect from the internet, FileMaker crashes, okay, and they're gone. So they're orphaning half-completed records that are in the system still, because whatever state it was saved to the server, that's where it was at. The server protected the FileMaker file, even though I just crashed FileMaker locally. The file is still on the server. It's not crashed. It's protected. But I log back in. It's not going to take me back to where I was. FileMaker, the platform, doesn't have a take me back where I was before my stuff blew up everywhere, right? It doesn't have that. So how do we do a restoration to where we were? It's not, there's probably 10 different ways. A bunch of you could think of the 10 different ways. The essentially concept is to ID. When the person creates a record, we put a fingerprint on them from them, like, hey, give me a fingerprint, roll it on the thing, and like for your driver's license or some sort of licensing permitting or something like fingerprint. And so we need to fingerprint that record. So when they die or they don't finish it or they quit and go on vacation, they come back, they are allowed to drop back into where they were, like save your forward progress kind of deal. So then we have to take their fingerprint and go, oh, we know who you are. Here's the record. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. Okay? That's the tomorrow thing. Yes?
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay. And if we have questions along the way, and once again, Margaret, you can have questions, but I'm trying to make them digestible within 1 hour. Okay. So there are questions out there like, what's the meaning of the universe? And it's like, that's not a 1 hour question. Unless you give a very flip answer. It's frogs. Green frogs are the meaning of the universe. So tomorrow is that conversation about restoring forward progress, saving forward progress. And as much as we like the idea of transactions, it's not really a transaction because transactions don't live beyond someone logging out and coming back. They're not like that, but we're going to kind of fake it. We're going to build that. Because transactions with the FileMaker transaction system is all about the idea that the person gets through a scripted process and at the end it saves it. But if you disconnect in the middle, the script, yeah, is done. So with that in mind, that's awesome. Thank you for everyone. Questions, comments, support at rcconsulting.com. Support and just put something in the subject so we know it's for me. All right?
Yep. Have a good one, everybody.